Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be going over my typing guess for Robert Pattinson. So of course with that means there's going to be spoilers, and if you would like to take some time and make your own guess, feel free to leave the video and go do so. This time around, I'm going to put my typing guess right at the beginning of the video and start from there. So in a moment it's going to pop up on the screen. I'll also be showing the hint a little bit later on in the video. My guess for this week is double feminine TeSe, play, consume, sleep, and blast last. He has definitely been quite the hard one this week, and I think that might be because he is a glass lizard, in my opinion. But I look forward to finding out the results tomorrow. Because I have more clips this time around, I'm going to try to keep my explanations a little shorter and just keep the video rolling. In this first clip, I think it shows more evidence that he is probably a decider, and it seems like he's kind of trying to avoid feelings based on the analogy he's using, or more so the hypothetical.
Taken in this context, it does smell really delicious. When I was a kid, I did used to eat my pencils all the time, so maybe I'm that kind of guy. It's delicious. But if the world likes, say, bergamot, and then you have like an ex-girlfriend who used to wear bergamot all the time, then you personally hate it, and you're like, there's no more bergamot in any of these things. You have to live your life carefully to avoid hazardous scents.
In this next clip, I think there's some more evidence of him being a decider, and it's really interesting how he replies to the compliment at the beginning and how awkward it seems, and there's a little bit of that too later on at the end of the clip. It's also really interesting to try to understand why he views trying to be funny as so terrifying.
Kind of mood. I like to see you funny because you're a great actor, obviously, in dramatic stuff, but you're very funny in Damsel. And we've done bits together. Together, we were very funny. I was doing an impression of you.
I wanted to do another bit with you, and I just got so scared. Like, literally, I really wanted to do something funny, and there's something about trying to be funny that's absolutely terrifying.
Don't I know it? I mean, I come every night, I try.
Nothing worse.
But I mean, was it tough for this movie? Because you're really good, you're really funny.
Oh, thanks.
What was the tough scenes?
I mean, I think the very first scene I did, because I was acting opposite the director, and we'd rehearsed and stuff, but I don't think he quite realized how hard I was going to push like, my extreme desperation to be funny.
Oh, no, really?
And it was this kind of long scene of just his look of just absolute terror, going like, who have I cast? Like, what are you doing?
He's really milking this one, wow.
This next clip is also another part of why I'm thinking that he is probably a decider, where he's trying to process a little bit of how he felt like an outcast in the situation of going to acting class. And instead of kind of processing it in terms of wanting people to come to where he is at, it seems like he is trying to process how he can move to where they're at, which makes me think a little bit more that he might be DE.
Were you good at 15? I don't know. I mean, I definitely took it very, very, very seriously, and also I had that weird outsidery thing because I hadn't done drama in school, and because I entered this drama club and everyone was very, very kind of not cliquey, but like they were serious. They were like acting kids, and so I didn't really feel accepted into that, and so I kind of felt I had to prove myself and do something different at the time. I don't know if I did do anything different, but I don't know. I kind of wanted to. It took me a while to realize that it was actually something I wanted to do and something that I could potentially do. Did you get the girl? Not until years and years later.
This next clip I thought was just a little interesting because it seems to me like it might be a demon state of him trying to do some FI.
Why not another blockbuster? Why do you like the small stuff?
I've had the luxury of kind of not having to keep working constantly, and so I've kind of been able to choose what I want to do, and it's just kind of been what I want to do. Just, I mean, the scripts. I mean, I see everything as a blockbuster. I mean, you hope it will be a blockbuster afterwards. Sure. You hope that at least someone will see it. but yeah, you just never know.
After this clip, I'm going to show the hint. This clip is really interesting because it shows to me a lot of FI, and he's just trying to do a lot of feeling talk. But near the end, you can hear how it's still about others, and he needs to have approval in some way, or at least to a certain degree.
This movie years ago called Cosmopolis, where I realized you can sort of approach a character in a movie like the same way that you're a singer approaching a song which you haven't written. Like, you don't necessarily have to have an in-depth psychological history which you can quote at any moment. Like, it's just feel. If you keep reading the lines again and again and again, you're looking for the ways that feel nice, and there's a pleasure which like like when you're tuning guitar strings and the two strings get in harmony with each other, there's something which you find, and you can't like define what that feeling is, but it's just like, oh, it just feels really nice. And I've started to just try and do parts like that, and it's difficult to do it when you have to be working with like certain directors who sort of accept that approach, or you just keep it secret from them.
At first, of course, I was pretty confused, since through most of his interviews, I feel like I can hear a lot of FI. My original guess was ISFP. After I saw the hint, though, I really had to reconsider things, and that's why I ended up deciding on a glass lizard. To me, I feel like he has some of the similar patterns of other community members that have been typed glass lizards, and I'm really looking forward to seeing if I understand this vibe correctly or not that I'm getting from him. This next clip is one that I think shows some TE. It reminds me a lot of when Elon Musk was on the Joe Rogan podcast and Joe was throwing a bunch of ideas on how to make a magnetic road to Elon. And to me, this has that similar vibe of throwing out those ideas, whether they are good or not.
But you could kind of make up something after that. It doesn't have to be a book. If it makes money and people love you, why wouldn't you make another one? Mm-hmm. Would you make another one?
If there was an alien invasion and stuff. I was talking about the other day, they sort of mix it up with the Avengers. Mm-hmm. Or maybe just make it like Twilight/Avengers and then...
That's actually a really good idea.
I was also thinking another way to do it is make it like Will and Grace, where Edward turns gay.
Yes.
But they still stay together, and they raise the kid and everything.
We've got some ideas there. I'm writing some of this stuff down.
Maybe just combine that with an alien invasion.
That's right.
This next clip will be split up into two sections, and I think it shows some really good examples of how he's most likely OE instead of OI, as in he really likes to be in that chaos, and also he just doesn't seem to have a way of doing anything at all. A bonus note is I think there's some other really good examples in here of how he might actually be blast last.
I just don't think it's going to happen.
But I mean, you want to be scared when you pick parts that you think you can't do? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is my comfort zone. It's kind of the only time I feel comfortable is when, like, I like doing things that feel crazy to me, and I feel a little comfortable if I feel that other people would be a little bit frightened to do it, because I've never really been burnt, so like, I'm kind of like I'm invincible. but like I do feel that is my comfort zone, is to kind of do something. When I explain the plot to someone, they'll be like, "What are you doing? You're completely crazy." But yeah, I like the adrenaline. I just don't want to do stuff that's boring. I mean, that's it. It's kind of, I mean, that's really my only thing now, anyway. I mean, but
so is that in the character, or is that in the people who you're working with, or is that in the idea of the
it's
movie?
It's got to have something which is kind of. I mean, I mean, really, my kind of how I've chosen to do stuff. It's just it changes all the time. I mean, it's almost completely random. I mean, it's just sort of. You just wait for things to inspire you. I mean, it's like, I mean, every single, like, I've never really been able to figure out how to capitalize on momentum. Like, it's kind of.
I may be stretching things a little bit in this next clip, but I feel like some of the dedication he is trying to show and how he's talking about the deepness of that dedication, to me, it's kind of coming off as NI. Besides that, I think this clip also has some good examples of channel changing and other blast last examples.
Well, I generally get like really, really wound up to the point of paralysis. Like, that's generally my method. Like, a lot of self-hatred. But I don't know. I mean, with this, one of the most amazing things about this experience is like, I never really understand it when a director doesn't want their actor to really obsess and give like if I want to commit to something, I don't do that many jobs, and I want to commit properly. And I always think it's kind of, you will get more, the more you let the actor commit to it, and the more you answer questions and go deeper and deeper and deeper, it's just going to be better for everybody. And like, and it's kind of, and with them, they were just kind of, just the level of patience that they would have, and enthusiasm for just anything, any question or anything, and like, you know, and also, you know, when you had an idea about a character, you want to go to the director and be like, just had a thought, I mean, you can kind of go through it. And like, the majority of people who are directing movies, like, can't seem to really find the time to do that. And to me, that is what filmmaking is. And so storytelling is, what's you're a filmmaker, but you don't have time to actually make a film. So that doesn't make any sense.
There was like. In this last clip, I believe there is a good example of some masculine DI, and maybe another example of being tribe over self.
Well, at the time, but then afterwards, you're like, oh, I kind of like that feeling. So
are you happier when it's over, or do you like that feeling? Is that what you, is that?
No, I like it.
edge?
I like making it mean something to me. And if you leave the scene, and even if you messed it, it's kind of like if you messed it up, and you're just like, this is like bad. I've done something bad, and I need to be punished for it. It's like, and I will punish myself.
No, you actually asked me to punish you once. You had that weird tea kettle thing that you kept boiling in your apartment.
No,
remember you were like, you said, don't tell me when you're going to do it. You laid on your back, and you said, don't tell me when you do it. Just do it when you want to. And I would leave you there for like 10 minutes laying on your back, and I was coming to throw it on your back. But you had the t-shirt on, so it didn't really burn you that bad.
Yeah.
And then you give you the Safdie brand. And then I came out of the closet, I was like, with the camera and everything.
Well, I suppose that does it for this video. I'm feeling really good about my guests this week, but I guess we'll find out tomorrow. I'll try to make a follow-up video and see what kind of information I can share from what I learned this week. Did you guys have a different guess? Did you guys have trouble typing him this week as well? I would love to hear all about it down in the comments. I guess I'll see you then. Bye.
Yeah, he just massaged the inside of his thighs. But then I didn't agree to do the real one, so we made a fake red
You
bucket.
made a fake dog penis?
Yeah.
Wow, Hollywood is a great place, dog. It really is. Like, if you get a chance to send your kids to film school.